Hey everybody, it is early in the morning. I got up too early today. This is my third box of pennies that I'm going to go through from Detroit. I'm going to see how much copper I get, see if I can beat the last box of wheat pennies. I got, 13 wheat pennies? I'd love to beat that. I opened 5 rolls and spread them out, and I can't even tell you why. It's too early in the morning. But anyway, I'm going to get started here and start pulling out the copper and the Canadians and the wheat pennies and see if we can do nearly as good as we did in that last box. I got over 4 pounds of copper in that last box. It's pretty amazing. Here we go. That's a good start. I even forgot to put my mat out. I'll get that out for the next roll. Well, that's a good start on the copper, ain't it? Golly. D. Well, I was so disappointed yesterday. I was in Indiana, central Indiana, on business. Copper. And I used to live up in that area, and so I'm familiar with it. I went into a bank and asked them if they had any $half, and they asked another teller if they didn't have any. And I said, "Do you still have the coin machine? You used to let me buy the $half out of the coin machine." And he goes, "Oh, well, there's a lot in there." I said, "Well, I'd like to buy them." So he goes, "Okay, hold on a minute." And he came back and he said, "There's $719.50. I said, "I'll take them." In the past, when I bought them, there's usually only been like $50 or $70 at a time in there. And each time there was silver. Oh, there's the 09. And so I said I'd buy them. And then he goes back, and he comes back a minute later, and he said they saw some other change in there, dimes and pennies and quarters and stuff. And he said they're going to run it through the machine again and then give me a new total. Which I hated to hear that, because once they agree to sell it to me, I just want to get it. I don't want them to get into it. I don't know that anybody would do that, but they might see some, Benjamin Franklin or something, go, "Oh, I'm going to take that." Again, I don't know that that's happened, but I heard them run it through twice. I sat there for 20 minutes, and they came back, and this time it was only $618. But I was still excited. The young girl that finally checked me out, she didn't seem like the type that would, I don't even know if she knew, she didn't seem like she knew about coins at all, in my opinion. So anyway, I bought them, and I was all excited. Because, like I said, I've gotten silver out of them before. And I get them home, and again, this is the third bag in the last couple of months of $half. And I got nothing again. Well, I got 2 tokens that I paid 50 cents each for. Oh, I was so disappointed. I tell you, silver is hard for me to come by these days. No wheat or Canadian in this row. I'm going to throw the zinc in the box, I guess, and I'm going to leave the copper out and see how much I've got for each row. Push that aside. There's my little pile of copper for that row. There's the copper. $59. This is my first 82. No Canadian or wheat penny yet. D. I was seeing S. Getting to a little copper there now. Not a wheat penny or Canadian yet. There's a wheat penny. 1956. Cool. There's a Canadian. $1964. Alright, let me stack up and see which row got the most. Here's my results for the copper. 19, 9, 14, 15 with one wheat, and 13 with one Canadian. That is well over 20%. That's quite cool. I think I'll do this with the next 5 rows. The second row, I got 2 Canadians and no wheat, but 10 less copper coins. I did get a pretty amazing 68D that's just in real good shape, except for something coming out of his nose there. Looks like he's got a runny nose. And this is zinc, but somebody's coated it in something. You can tell it's flaked off the back. I do not know what substance that is. It's almost greenish looking. I got an S, which I did count in with the copper, but I'll keep it separate. And so this box is got pretty good copper so far, but it sure doesn't have the Canadian or wheat pennies that the last box had. Okay, I got the next 5 rows set up, and I was going through the first row. At the very, very end, second to the last coin, I found another wheat penny, 1945, I believe, Philadelphia. Yeah. So that's 2 wheat pennies. So we'll go ahead and just go through one more row here, as long as I'm got the camera rolling. I wonder, I hope you all are watching a lot of the news that's going on in the government world, finance world. You know, silver is being traded pretty strangely lately. They say that in the commodities trading market that lots and lots and lots of silver is actually coming off the trading market, which means people are taking the big players are taking physical possession. And it's predicted that the end of July even we're going to see some type of noticeable change in the market. I don't know if that necessarily means price-wise up or down, but just seeing things happening. It's kind of weird because there's, as far as going and buying physical silver out in the retail world, there's quite a bit of silver out there right now, but millions and millions of fewer ounces are available in the trading world. And that's kind of weird. But if you're familiar with Finance Daily, I believe his name is pronounced Andy Schechtman, if I have that right. He, I guess, predicting the silver is going to go up exponentially. He says that 1 kilo of silver can save your family. And I didn't catch the whole end of the video. I'll get back to it later. But I was just thinking, I am just getting, I'm having to go out and buy some silver because I'm just not getting silver hardly at all cornrow hunting. I do have over 1 kilo put away, but I'd like to have some more. So I'm going to go out and physically buy some more. The video was out just recently about Chase. And they said they're going to make some big changes come September. They're writing off debt. They're losing millions. And so there's people saying, be careful with your money in the banks. It's pretty crazy out there. And I was just thinking, for us who is stacking copper, what would it take? Let's say that copper goes up. Oh, I see a wheat penny right there. But let's say that copper does move up in price as silver does, accordingly. How much copper would it take to be the equivalent of 1 kilo of silver? And I figured that up. It's approximately 230 pounds of copper. I have a little bit over 100, and I'm going to start stepping it up while you're still able to get it, and see if I can start getting closer to that 230 pounds stored away of copper, along with, while I'm still going to be looking for some silver, but I tell you, I'm just not finding it. I was so disappointed in that big bag that I got yesterday. Not much copper in this row. First row had pretty good. Something to think about. Right at the end of the 5th row in this set, I found my 3rd wheat penny. Let's see what we got there. 1956D. I do have a few more Canadians. Couple more there. So we're stacking a few more of the Canadian. It still feels like less than the last box. All right. Okay, in this 3rd set here, we had 9 coppers with 2 Canadian and 1 wheat penny, 10 copper with 1 Canadian, 13 with 2 Canadian, 6 with 1 wheat, and then a good copper stack, 21. Only 59 copper in that row, but it's still, over 20%, which I'm pretty happy with. I hope a couple of rows get back up to the 70. I'm not going to get 10 on here, but I'll get as many as I can, then I'll go to the next mat I can just clean it all off when I'm done. This is just a NFC mat that I made up a while back. Here is my next set of 5. You see, I've only got no wheats and 2 Canadians. And you see 18, 8, 9, 10, 12, only 57. I don't like this trend at all. I hope this next one's better. I just set up my next 5 rows, and right pretty much at the beginning of the first one, I found one of the old Canadians. How cool is that? It's George VI, King George VI. 1945. That's pretty cool there. I like that. See another one. 1976. Cool. It'd be nice to have a wheat penny in this row. Oh, I noticed somewhere I messed up on my sheets. My sheet that I'm working on, I only have 3 wheat pennies, but I have 4, so I messed up somewhere. It's pretty nice. So right now the silver price today is $24.71 an ounce, and the copper price was $3.82 a pound. So I know we're looking at pennies, but I'm just trying to compare stuff to what that Andy Schechtman said is an 82. And it takes 35.28 ounces of silver to get that kilo that he was talking about. And I tell you, I think we need to get out there as concerned Americans, just people who are, we've taken the red pill, I guess you might say, and start getting prepared for possibly some pretty disturbed times. I'll just call it that. We have no idea what the extent of it will be. We don't know at what point God intervenes. Back in the Israel days in the Old Testament, he actually used the Hebrews who were taken off into captivity, and he used that for the benefit of the world, because they started spreading the word of Jehovah around the world. So you take something bad and good things can come from it when you put some trust in God. So I don't want to get carried off to another country, but if that's my fate, then I hope I'll be true to that. And not bow down to Nebuchadnezzar, so to speak. I'm in the 5th row. I finally got to my first wheat penny in this set, 1953D. I tell you, this box doesn't seem to be as good as the last box I got from Detroit. It's a little bit disappointing. The last one was awfully good. $230 pounds of copper. Can you do it? What are we in for? That's the question. That's the big question. You've got, it looks like 1980. That would be copper. Let's weigh it. I think it says 80. Oh, let me. Yeah. Okay. One of them had 5. That's cool. Canadians. Anyway, with the world market, you've got China, Russia, Brazil, India, all stacking gold and all going in together to make a new world currency. And if they back it with gold and make, trust funds out of it, the world is going to trust that more than what they see going on in America right now, because there's not much trust in the world market of what's going on in America. It's too tipsy-turvy, flippy-floppy. It's nerve-wracking. But we just pray and have faith and prepare. Do the best you can to prepare. Well, we came back up a couple this time on this row. We finally got another wheat penny. This row had 5 Canadian pennies. One of them is the newer non-copper. 2 Canadians here, and one of them is a 1945. That's quite cool. Well, that is actually 5 wheat pennies, even though I've only got 4 marked. But we're at 5. And that is the halfway mark. So maybe we'll get our 10. About halfway through the 5th row, and I finally found another wheat penny. I did find a Canadian there. Let's see what year we've got. 1953D. That's 6 wheat pennies. I'm sure you heard the story about the flood, and a flood, not the flood. And the car comes by, with emergency people, and they find this guy, and I saw him. They say, "Hey, buddy, come on, we're getting everybody out before the water gets higher." "Oh, so you go ahead, don't worry about it, God's going to save me." "Come on, buddy, and I'll go ahead." So they go, "Oh, there's another wheat, cool, 2 in this row, 1944. That's neat. Let's look." Oh, that's neat, though. So then the water gets, halfway up the house, and a boat comes by, and he's up on the 2nd floor there. Say, hop in, while you can." He goes, "No, you go ahead. You go ahead, God's going to save me. I have my trust in God there." And, he refuses, so they go on. A little while later, the water keeps rising. And the guy climbs out up on his roof. And a helicopter comes by, and the guy lowers the basket down and says, get in. We'll save you." He goes, "Don't you worry about it. God's going to save me. You just go on." And he refuses to get in the basket. And, of course, the story goes, he drowns. And then up there in those pearly gates, he asked, "God, why didn't you save me? I told all those people you were going to save me." He said, "Son, I sent a car and a boat and a helicopter. I can't force you to be saved." Okay, we got 2 wheat pennies in this set, and several Canadians. 10, 13, 10, 14, 14, 61 total, which is creeping back up a little bit. That's better. That's better. Alright, this next set, the 2nd row, I got my wheat penny. That's wheat penny number 8. I've also already got a Canadian out of there. What year do we have? 1957. Nothing rare about that, but it's fun to find them. Let's see how much copper we're getting. It'd be fun to find another Canadian or another wheat penny here. Also, let me know what you think about this way of doing it. A little bit different than my standard procedure. I woke up early this morning and I was just fiddling, and it's like, hey, I think I kind of like this, and I'd like to know what you think about it. $59. Found a lot of those, didn't we? Oh, I see a Canadian back there. I'm going to start ramping up my copper saving. I'm still going to be looking for some silver. 1968, that's a pretty old one. That's 2 in this row. But I'm going to really, because, I'm going to be paying for some silver while I'm still looking for it in my coin roll hunting. But I know that I'm getting the copper at face value, so I'm going to start really stacking that up there. At least a couple of boxes a week, if not more. Alright, we're at the end of that set of 5. A couple of Canadians there, a couple of Canadians there, and 1 wheat. And this one had another one of the super nice coppers that I'll stick that one aside. Here's our numbers: 11, 13, 17, 7, 13, for a total of 61. Not too bad. I don't know if we'll get back up to the 70, but at least it's picked back up from the low of 57. I'll move into another chart, and next time I'll try to squeeze them in there better. I'm going to turn this laminated sheet over, and I'll be working on the back of this one. I made this one a few years ago. You might guess about the time I made it. Alright, here's the next set on the new sheet. I'll show you all of them together at the end. But I got 12, 16 with 1 Canadian. I also got another S penny. 11, 12 with a Canadian, 16 with a Canadian, for 67. That's pretty close to our 70 of that first row. So that's good. Not the wheat penny that I hope for. Still got like 2 more sets of 5 to get 2 more wheat pennies to make our 10. Look at that, only 51 coppers in that set. No wheaties. I got 3 Canadians, a Canadian there, and a Canadian there. Also picked up another one of the 2009. It's still only 8 wheats. I got 1 more set of 5. I hope I get 2 out of this set to get my 10 average. Here's my last set for this box. We'll just go ahead and take this first row and see if we find a wheat penny in it. Maybe we'll get lucky. You know, I talk a lot about copper and why you should hoard it and all these different things and the value of it. I also want to mention, whether you agree with it or like it or not, the demand for the renewable energy is soaring, and copper, there's a Canadian, copper usage needs in this renewable energy stuff, like the windmills and the electric cars, is 2 to 4 times greater than that of your regular fossil fuel energy, which even, you know, it was huge in that, and it's even greater. And so they say that by 2035 the need for copper is going to way the amount of copper. In fact, they say it's like by 5 million tons. If I understood it right, they said the need will be like 35 million, and there will only be like 30 million. That is going to really push the price higher and higher and higher. And I'm telling you, it's going to start getting harder to find. And if you're going to get your 230 pounds, you better get started. I am having a shortage of wheat pennies in this box, and what in the world? Feels very tinny. I don't think that's copper. I have another question. Oh, there's another Canadian. Cool beans. 12-sided. $82. Look, pretty early in the next row, I got a wheat penny. It's number 9, 1950D. That's 9. Maybe we'll get it. We still got this row and 3 more rows. Oh, I was getting ready to say a minute ago, I was at a friend's while I was up in Indiana, and they homeschool their children, and their kids are getting into the teenage years.
But she said that for most homeschoolers, that time is just, they're trying to run a household and teach the kids, and so it sometimes can get hectic and busy. Here's a Canadian 73. She asked if I would consider starting another YouTube channel where I just simply read some of the really more popular books in the homeschool world, just so that they'll have access to that, because it's hard to sometimes read to the kids when you'd like to. I don't even know which all books she has in mind. She said she'll get me a list. Wonder what your feedback is on that. What do you think about that? I think I'd enjoy that. And if I do it, I was also thinking maybe I'd just call it a Two Sheds Reads and start another channel. I'd love to hear your feedback on that one too. No more wheat in this row, looks like. Here's where we're at. That last row, I didn't get another wheat penny, so I only got 9 total for the box, 1 short of my average. For the row, we got 19, 15, 7, 9, 13 for a total of 63. With a grand total, not counting my 82s, but so I'll weigh those and weigh the box in a minute. 608 wheat pennies. I think that's a pretty good weight. That's a lot of wheat pennies there. I actually can't wait to weigh that and see where we're at. As copper goes, it's my best box yet. Look at that. 4 pounds, 6 ounces. That is all right. That's really cool. I got 9 wheats, 38 Canadians, and one of them being the old King George. And now a few of those are the non-copper types, but that's okay. It's still fun. I got 3 S pennies, 3 of the 09s, 2 of them that are just super, super nice I'm going to save. And then that one that somebody coated in something, I don't know what, plated. It's a zinc, but it's a weird color, zinc. I don't know. Anyway, it was kind of cool.